The brain is the most powerful weapon on this earth. The brain is the most powerful sense in this humanity. That is why the supreme being, the principalities, use as a medium to communicate with the heart and the body and the soul. Without a brain in the head, the body is lifeless. That is why the devil is always in your mind, trying to control or to conjure the sensory memories, the sensory neurons to become evil or to do bad things. Before one will do something bad or good, it is concluded in the brain that that is the right way to go. So it is sensitive game theory. It's a game theory of sensitivity. Your eyes watch, you send the sensory into the brain. The brain says, yeah, this is beautiful, I will take it. Never underestimate the power of your brain. Never underestimate the power of your brain. Use it well and you will never be where you are, because there are about 95.9% people on this earth who are not using their brain effectively. That is why we are suffering in humanity, in the world, especially Africa. We are not using the brain to develop something great. We have just let the brain be dull, and we have shifted the brain of development and growth in info technology or social developed technologies to high-tech development and growth to spiritual beliefs and cultures. So we can't grow or develop. So that is why Africa is underdeveloped, because we are not using the efficiency of the brain. That is why we are still under the yoke of slavery, though we claim we have independence in the various African countries. Until we use our brain to develop our countries and the continent, we are always going to be under the yoke and the service of the foreigners. Now back to the brain. If you tell your mind or you believe in yourself, you can do something, it will be done. My first corporate internship, I had no idea about corporate work. I entered the business as a guard. I did not know anything. What can I do? I told my brain, my mindset is all about mindset. And I said, I can survive in this banking institution. I know nothing about debt. I know nothing about loan, deposit, debit and credit, opening of accounts or whatever. I don't know anything about it. I hardly talk to people, but it's all about a mindset. I program my mind. I said, I can do it, and I survived. I got my second corporate work to be in the financial sector, and I quite remember in secondary school, I didn't like anything about accounting, debit and credit, whatever. So I got a job and they wanted to introduce this accounting thing to me. And I said, what? Something I don't like. But I programmed my mind once again. It's all about a mindset. I can do it, and I will do it, and I must do it. Eric Thompson normally say that. So I believe in myself. Take time, take 4 or 5, doing a lot of research, looking for one of the best software in accounting. Propose it to the leaders, or they say we don't know. So when they later find out that it's very necessary, they brought it. I work hardly towards that. It's all about mindset and grace of God, and by the power of the brain, I'm not good at it. So if you tell your mind you can do it, you can do it. All the rich men and women on this earth believe in themselves. It's all about mindset. If you don't have the mindset of the rich, you will be poor and die. It's all about the mindset. I rented a house. There were no table, chair. There were no money even to make the trap door. I told myself, God, on my mind. I said, my grandfather was in carpentry before he left this earth. So I believe myself that it's in the genes, it's in the blood, I can do it. And I began to make something out of the wood and the nails. Beginning it was very horrible in making a table, but I trusted and learning more how to sandpaper, how to get wallpapers or table papers to decorate. I made my own table. I made my own TV stand. I make my own wardrobe, standing bed wardrobe. And now I'm making my own trapdoor. I give the estimate for people to do all these things, and it was not costing me not less than $100 for all these things. The center tables, the wardrobe, spend more than $100. But I use less than $20 to do all these things. It's all about the mindset. You are where you are, and you are not growing and develop because that is what you have told your mind. Your work should be your passion. Tell your brain, look for your passion and it will be your job. Don't be a slave in something that your brain, your body and soul do not like. Use the brain. Sit down, analyze. Some people sat down and said, my family live in a long distance. How can I communicate with them? It's been a while, it's been years, months. How can I get them? They sit down and they say, no, let's bring this connectivity. Let's bring this boundary. And they make phone. And now I may be in my country to call a different country in a long distance. Okay? Someone sit down and said, and they plan, use their brain and said, no, man, look, in the olden days, man sit on horses and camel on the desert. Horses into their farms, as a transportation. How can the horse survive in a very, very long distance? About 8, 9, 12 hours, 14 hours. So they said that no, let's develop something that can make us travel a long distance without tiredness. And they brought the Benz and the Fords and the cars. Someone sat down and used the brain. He was saying, now the car can go any distance. But how can the car passes over the sea? I hope I am letting you think outside the box. So begin to use the brain, and it's possible. There is nothing on this earth that is impossible. I always say it's a problem because there is a solution. There is no problem without a solution. Because something problem because there is a solution. So they sat down and they developed or they created canoes and boats and ships to flow on the water. The boat and the immensity. They did that research, and now we can have the boat, a ship on the sea. I can travel for a long distance. Someone sat down and said, now, I know what is on the land when my car is going. I know what is on the sea when the boat floats on it. But what if I have to travel in the skies? What is in the sky? And they make plane. They make the airplane. It's all about the mind. Someone sat down and said, now, somebody has been able to make a boat or a ship to float on the water. What is happening under the water? I have to know what is happening in the water. And they made a submarine which can go under the water and see what is happening. So scientists and their discoveries, science want to understand the Earth planet. They just want to understand the Earth. Whatever makes the Earth. What is the beginning? What is the end? What is the dignity, the magnitude of the Earth and its particles in it? It's all about the brain. You sat down and said there is no job, I'm unemployed. You'll be unemployed because that is what you have told your mind. You sat down and said this sickness will not go. It's because you have told your mind it will not go. Let the brain develop. Unleash the brain power, and you will become most powerful. As the Buddhisms, the Buddhists, the priests, why they do a very long distance meditation. As the Catholic monks, why they are always quiet and meditating. You meditate to empower the brain. You meditate to unleash the energy of the brain. And dear people in Africa, begin to use your brain to change the tarnishing and the misrepresentative of you being monkeys and animals. Because we are not using our brain. Begin to use your brain and you will never complain on this earth. Shalom.